Unfortunately, next week's Super Bowl will not feature the New England Patriots.
Still, it's likely a majority of Pats fans will tune into the game, if only as casual observers. But for one man in Maine, this Super Bowl will be the biggest sports day of his life.
News Center Maine's Sam Rogers shows us why.
Sports fans are crazy. We know that here, but not everyone roots for the home team.
Fortunately for most of my childhood, the Patriots weren't very good.
In 1982, Matt Brodsky's grandfather gave the 7-year-old these pajamas and thus began a disappointing obsession decade after decade.
What's your favorite sports team?
Well, Cincinnati Bengals. Who dey?
They have been one of the worst teams in NFL history, but Brodsky says his loyalty is unmatched, and he has the Bengal cave to prove it.
I could tell you I was at this game, or I could tell you the Bengals lost this way or the Bengals lost that way. Most of the memorabilia is from a losing occasion.
Losing is normally an annual tradition in this house.
It took me about 12 Bengals games over 6 years for me to see them actually win in person.
Gina is Matt's person. The two have been married for years, and for her to allow this to happen, you'd think that'd be enough. But then they had a son.
And he said, well, you know, there's this player, and, you know, he's really good, and I'd really like to name our son after him.
Introducing Dylan Brodsky, named after former Bengal running back Corey Dillon. A few years later, their youngest son was born.
My full name is Ethan Matthew Bengal Brodsky.
Lily is the lucky sibling.
It's just been normalized, so I don't know. But I'm glad I don't have it in my name.
This family and the basement have lived through some extreme lows, like the remote control incident.
That was so many tirades ago that I can't remember. That was well after the broken TV.
Half the posters down there are just covering up holes in the walls that he's put in there.
When quarterback Joe Burrow came to town last season, almost every Bengal fan became hopeful. Almost every fan.
No, absolutely not, because they've drafted so many quarterbacks at #1 through the years, and those jerseys aren't worth $1.
But Matt's new license plate proves he's come around on Jay Burrow, and now the young QB can be immortalized in Cincinnati and in this basement.
It'll all come out. There'll be hopefully a lot of excitement.
Excitement has been plentiful during this postseason run, and with his wife and kids present, Matt says he's a Super Bowl win away from the best day of his life.
I don't think 20 years ago she knew what she was getting into. And with respect to the kids' births, absolutely it would be. I was a Bengals fan. I was a Bengals fan for 20 years before I got married, so they come first.
And just maybe, for the first time, the Brodskys can say with pride, how about them Bengals? In York, Sam Rogers, News Center, Maine.
And look, if there's a Rams fan in Maine with that kind of devotion, be sure to let Sam know. He'll want to hear about it.
Yeah, it's so good.